Today we have an incredible person present with us today. His name is Dr. Amir Kfir. He's the owner and CEO of Amirror Group Organizational Development. For over 25 years, Dr. Amir runs YPA Forum training programs and management retreats, leading groups towards deeper intimacy, deep care, trust and growth from personal goals and vision to the family forum. He was commissioned by YPO as a consultant to develop and run successful chapter development programs worldwide and won multiple awards for programs he's developed. He is the co-author of Non-Flit, The Art of Everyday Peacemaking, and founder of the NGO 1 Million Peacemakers. He has worked with corporations ranging from small families to very big multinationals dedicated to the pursuit of family, business health, and success. Welcome, Dr. Amir Kfir.
First of all, Jimmy, notice that I changed my glasses so that I would match with you for this new look.
Always a pleasure to see you and speak with you.
I learned about happiness, I need to tell you, because my father went to a prison camp in Jordan after Israel's independence war. Israel, like India, went in 48 into independence war. He came out of there and he found out that he lost most of his friends, including his best friend. He says, Jesus, I survived this thing. I need to have a different approach to life. And his attitude was just gratefulness and being very appreciative. And I think the secret to happiness is not only working on the difficult things in Forum, but actually finding time and space to be grateful for great things that happen in our life. Because the truth is that our experience in life is a derivative of where we tend to put our focus. And if we train our mind to look at the amazing things like he did, he was told when he was 15 that he has prostate cancer and he has 4 months to live. He lived 35 years after that announcement, by the way. But, I think it's sort of like developed in him an understanding that life is to be enjoyed. And in that scope, by the way, the most important thing, because Jimmy spoke about at the end of life, don't you have to want to have joy? I think that the most strategic investment in the deep source of joy was family. So he invested a lot in family and then family relationship. And I will tell you this because I put now a focus. I just, to have a funny day today, I was in Calcutta, in Hyderabad, and in South America in the last few hours. How fun it is. Jimmy, where are you, by the way? You're not in India, are you?
I'm in Bangalore.
And even the people that are sitting there are not really sitting there. They're all over. So the ability to use Forum also for our family. I really want to encourage you. One day we will talk about it. Jimmy, I'm having conversations with your son who is brilliant and really hardworking. But Forum in a family is the biggest ROI because that's where you really want to develop meaningful conversations. So you guys are going to learn Forum and be part of a Forum. It's going to be very meaningful for you in your personal evolution and consciousness and learning. But let me tell you, doing Forum with your family and teaching yourself and your kids how to talk to each other is going to be a very valuable thing. And we're going to make this happen. We'll probably record a family in these beautiful studios in Mumbai and we'll create some pieces we spoke. I did not forget Jimmy, but we're going to do some fabulous work that will help this wonderful, unique group that you're building under DLC to really transform every aspect of their life. And so I look forward to that journey. Tell me something that makes you happy, please.
My granddaughter.
Your granddaughter. What in your granddaughter makes you happy?
Just how bubbly she is, how energetic she is, just that really right.
Point made. Family makes us happy. And you know, this is very important that you have a relationship with your granddaughter. And we need to start that relationship with our kids so one day they'll invite us to be around our grandchildren. We need to develop a conversation and an openness and a caring and the ability to look at them as mature individuals that we can learn from them and develop within the family what is the essence of Forum. And let me tell you now what I think the essence of Forum is. I've been doing this for many years. I met a group in, I think it was the Dominican Republic. a group of forum that has been together for 24 years. I meet them in a restaurant, 7 guys or 8 guys, 7 guys, I think, maybe more. They love each other. They kiss each other. They're already, I think, in their 70s, and they're so in love with each other. And then they tell me, Amir, we need to tell you a story. I said, what's the story? They want to teach me. I'm the little boy that they need to bring up to speed. So they said, we did this exercise. We each wrote on a piece of paper what needs to happen if, God forbid, one of us dies. And each one wrote what they need the group to do. They sealed it in an envelope, didn't open it, and put it in a safe. Well, one of the guys died in a private airplane crash between Puerto Rico and the Dominican. So they went to the safe and they opened his letter. And it says there, guys, I need you to make sure that my wife, now the widow, will not go down in her standard of living. They sold some property, they rented other, they managed, he has the same amount that was at her spending level, doesn't go down. He says, I want to make sure my kids go to the right colleges. They put an endowment and secured their path into those institutions that he wanted them to go. They said, I would really love for my company to be released from the burdens. So they said, what are the burdens of the company? They went in and they realized there was a guy who was always bitching about, but never fired. They said, with the absence of him, this guy is very dangerous. They fired the guy. They went in and fired an individual from the company. And then they went to the IRS and they paid some money just to make sure that cloud gets removed. So they tell me, Amir, what do you learn from my story? I said, you guys really care for each other. They say, Amir, you're a bit slow. Can you tell us a little bit more what you learned? I says, guys, what do you mean? They says, who do you think the client of Forum is? I says, what do you mean, you guys? This is Amir. How did you become a CFF? You're not very good at this. I says, why? They says, do you remember the movie The Godfather? I said, yes, of course. Who doesn't remember? They said, who is the client? I said, the family, not just the individual. Who is the client is a group of people that are the important group in my life, and that we learn how to take care of each other. And if I'm not around, you keep an eye on my stuff. Forum, beyond the intellectual exchange that takes place and the learning and the growing and, the blind spot, is a group of people that you look at them and they look at you and we say, hey, buddy, we keep an eye on each other. We look at each other. And if you have a hard moment, we step in. You remember the movie The Pulp Fiction where they blow up the head of the guy in the back seat of the car? Who comes to save the situation? Mr. Wolf. Forum is Mr. Wolf. You get in trouble, we come. Why? Not because we're smarter than you. Because it's not our problem. It's your problem. When you have a problem, your emotion and rationale get clouded. You don't see very clearly. It's like my wife comes to me and says, Amir, this sandal or that sandal? Of course I can see the one on the left is vertically symmetric with the rest of the whole thing. That one. But when I have my shirt, I need to say, should I wear this one? I go to her. Because she, from the outside, can see things I can't see about myself, because it takes two to know one. Forum is a group of people that step in and are there for you in those times when you are lost, when you don't really know what to do. Sometimes it's going to be some of the difficult moments in your life. And you are investing in a relationship by giving care to others with the notion that the time might come. And in that journey, like Jimmy likes to say, we learn. And in order for us to learn, we need to be a little bit stupid. Because if we assume we have all the answers, the probability of learning something new is not high. And so that group of people might tell you that you're a little bit full of yourself. That group of people might tell you things that no other people tell you because they love you. And putting your head in the sand doesn't mean that your butt doesn't stick out. So we'll tell you, there's something you want to learn. And it will come from a place of love. It will come from a place of what is called tough love. And I might say to you, hey buddy, When you raise your voice, I shrink. I wonder what that does to the people that work for you and how they might respond to that. And you learn and you become more aware and we realize how we take care of each other. Yeah, I can go on like this with a lot of stories.
So we've heard a lot about emotional intelligence and happiness and even spiritual intelligence we heard about. Downgrading IQ. So we hear a lot about how other things may be more important. What if we want to use Forum to learn practical things, knowledge exchange, actual ideas that can be implemented, which in business is very important. Things that are not always soft skills.
To a large extent, Forum at the beginning of its life cycle, Forum has an evolution, it has a life cycle, it's a group dynamic process. Talks a lot about business issues. Young entrepreneurs that are building their empire are not so preoccupied with, too long-term philosophical questions. They are asking themselves, how do I make sure that I'm managing my finance correctly? How do I cut down on my cost on my supply chain? How do I make sure that I have the best kind of an accounting system that will cut to the chase? And they seek insight from each other, which is fantastic because that group of people is a very practical group of people and you can just stand between them and they have a commitment to each other that they answer questions. And I want to pick your brain, guys, and I need to get your brain power. Absolutely. This is a smart, intelligent group of people. But there is something unique here that is a competitive advantage that you won't see in a Rotary group that comes together to talk. And that is the notion of confidentiality. Under the umbrella of confidentiality, I don't only speak about how do I go public, but I say, how do I deal also with my fear of losing control? How do I deal with my sense that most likely if I go public, the board will take over and they will push me out of the CEO role? Which means that in Forum, under confidentiality, I'm opening up and I'm talking about things that I don't talk about with a tax advisor or a McKinsey consultant that knows a lot about how to go IPO. I talk about an additional dimension that is the limiting beliefs and my issues with the issue. Because sometimes, and not always, sometimes it's a very rational question. What is the best way to go to market? Should I go B2C or B2B? Let's talk about it. Advantage, disadvantage, pros and cons, process analysis, analytical analysis. Let's put a spreadsheet. Let's look at the numbers. Let's educate ourselves. Let's have a database discussion, of course. But sometimes also there could be a deeper discussion that is really about my concerns, my fears, my inadequacies, the hidden part of the Johari window that our friend spoke before me is about that place where I'm not easily touching with because it's almost like a captured trauma. But that trauma holds energy, and I need to be able to get in touch with that in order to understand what is blocking my energy. A lot of things that people do or don't do in life are not a derivative of a logical analysis of what you need to do. Often it takes the heart to be engaged in the decision making. What's my emotion about this issue? What gives me joy? This term that Jimmy is using about joy is very important because it is not a destination, it's a condition of a journey. And our ability to engage in joy in life is actually a defining of the experience that we have. It's not about what we will have in the future, it's what we have right now. It's an accumulation of present moments in this respect. So the Forum is able to offer, I think, Mike, something that is much more comprehensive and deeper.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kfir.
My pleasure. Guys, you're in good hands. You're in the hands of people who have a passion to make an impact in the world. And you happen to be the messengers that will spread it further in the world.
Amir, thank you. It's always wonderful to listen to you speak. I wish this conversation can go on longer, but we will catch up another day.